welcome to the Jeff Fishing Vlog. Today I'm with my Uncle Mike out here on the Ohio River. Many of you may know, many of you may not know, but my Uncle Mike's basically considered the standard. When it comes to fishing in our family, whatever you're doing, whether he intended it this way or not, it always tends to get compared to him. Which for his part, for me and my cousins, when we were young, he never minded taking us. I mean, we would have a whole car full, or if we would walk somewhere, he would just say, "Come on, we'll figure it out. If there ain't enough rod and reels, he would break off sticks and tie string to them.
Yep.
Never, it was always really. After I sit here and embarrass you a little bit.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You gonna catch a fish?
I'll try.
You try? Are you getting a bite?
All right, go ahead. I'm good.
Okay. Well, if you're gonna catch a fish, let's catch fish. That's what I always hear is people saying, "Oh, Jeff, you need to catch more fish on video."
That's exactly what I said. Less talking, more fishing.
Well, and I'm all for that too. But when I don't have time to fish, we're gonna get to talk, right?
Yep.
So we've been fishing down the Ohio River a bunch. From fishing down at the dam to fishing Grandview. We've been out here on a boat a few times. Different spots that we don't even know what to call it. Down on river bottoms and whatnot. Do you have any trips that actually just really stand out amongst all the others?
Yeah, about 6 years ago, when me and my daughter Melissa came down here, we went and did some fishing down here on the river, where we wound up catching 2 really nice flatheads, a couple nice channel cats. And one of the things I always remember, even though I casted the pole out for her, set the hook, but she reeled it in and she took all the credit. She said she outfished me that day.
She could say that all she wants, and that's fine. But I have to give her some credit too, because when you guys come back to the house and you were giving me the hard time about not going and how I should have went, look at all the fish we caught. She held them fish up.
Yep.
She didn't have any problems holding the fish. Pulling them out of the live well. All that. And my Uncle Mike here, being the standard. He's the bar, right? One of my favorite fishing trips. The thing is I know we're not kids anymore, and I do a lot of fishing on my own. But you never forget when you really outfish them. And we've been fishing a lot. There's some times to where maybe I caught a few more. You caught more usually. I'd have no problems giving you credit for that. But you and Steve had come down. I think you were living here, but Steve had come down, and we were doing all that sauger fishing down on the dam. And this is sauger fishing from the bank, and it was cold and rainy.
It was a miserable day.
And we got out there, and it was kind of slow to start with, and then I started catching them, and they were done. I'm like, it's right here. This is how we're catching them. This is what you need to do. And they went in, and for the next 20 minutes, I think I proceeded to catch my limit, his limit, and Steve's limit.
Yep.
With it just raining and being miserable. It was pretty awesome. I really enjoyed that. Showing people up. What a jerk. Telling stories about it.
So since I know that Tony and Mikey, my 2 nephews, your cousin, watch your blog, I will talk about a couple fishing stories with them.
All right. I don't think I've done much fishing with Mikey and Tony, except for maybe like when we were kids and we went.
Well, when they were kids, they used to go fishing with me a lot. There was one time, which Mikey will never forget because he still has a scar from it. We used to have to travel about a mile, walked about a mile, back when you used to be able to go behind the mills up there in northern Indiana.
Oh man, that was an amazing fishery back there off of the south part of Lake Michigan.
Yep, down there off Chase, on the other side of Gary area. So anyways, you go in, you check in at security, they give you a badge, and then it's about a mile walk to get back there. So on the way back there, Mikey tripped and fell on some of the slag rocks that they used to lay down for us to walk on to get back there. And he had cut his leg. And I told him, I said, look, I didn't walk all this way to catch some fish and turn around and go back now. I didn't have no Band-Aids or nothing. I made him stick it out. And he still has a scar to this day from that.
Does he really? I
Yes.
think he does. That didn't turn him off from fishing though. I think he went
No.
fishing quite a bit. Even
Yeah,
after that.
they still went out with me all the time. When we used to go and we'd have to cross the railroad bridge.
Now his mom Lori, she's practically a Spartan wife.
Yeah.
Or Spartan mom, I should say. Because you brought him back with his leg all busted up. How'd she feel about all that?
Nah, she had no problems with it. You know. When I used to have to cross the railroad bridge, go fishing for salmon, in one of the rivers, they were terrified to cross the bridge. So I had to take all the fishing tackle across the bridge.
Now, what was
Turn
wrong with
around.
the bridge?
That's where we fished at. We fished
No,
below
I mean, why would they be scared to cross the bridge? What type of bridge was it?
the railroad bridge. We had to walk over the river.
Oh, so it was like open.
Yeah. Open, you can see the river down below you.
I got you. They were worried. Yeah.
So I would go and I'd take all the fishing equipment, go across the river, come back, grab one, carry one across, take him across the bridge, turn around and come back, grab the other. And every time we fished there, it was always that way.
Now, I assume they helped you carry the fish. You were going over and fishing fish.
Yeah, we were fishing for salmon in the river at the time.
Were you catching them?
Yeah, we always caught a few. I don't know
Good.
exactly how many I caught over the years, but
I done a whole lot of salmon fishing, but I have not done a whole lot of salmon catching. I think the one trip I caught that nice one, and then one year I went with my brother-in-law and we caught some small ones, and that was the extent of it. But I always loved it. It just like we're out here now. The whole idea of being out here on the Ohio River. We got bluegills hanging off the bottom. We got some shrimp going. We got some little bit of shad that somebody was kind enough to hook us up with at the boat dock. And we've had a few bites. Even had a nice bite off of the bluegill, whole live bluegill, but it seems to be slow right now. I don't know what gives. I think that's going to do it. I think we're about to have to move. We're getting at about the point of no return. I think we know where our spot is where we can actually. And we don't get skunked, so it ain't happening today. All right, y'all know before we will.
all right, let's roll.
Hey, before I get you off here, in case Dad's and I said, catch that right on the camera, man. You still got a hold of it? That was a nice hit. He wasn't telling stories and he was paying attention to his rod. Took your shrimp.
Yeah, left me with the shell.
You reeling in or you hooking up again?
Let's move.
All right. So before I get you off camera here, I do got to ask you.
Fire away.
And I know you fished with him a bunch. You've heard a lot of his little sayings, I'm sure, driving back and forth to Wisconsin. But so when's the best time to fish?
Whenever the fish are biting. I don't know.
Somebody does not watch it. It's right there's a fish. He's there.
Yeah.
That's so big.
Not bad. There you go.
There we go. What did I say? I said we don't get skunked. We don't get skunked.
Yeah, they will stay. That was 2 good hits.
Well, they might fish together. We don't get skunked.
All right, we'll stay here for a little bit longer.
All right. So I'm going to have to ask Mike. We got this nice little cat going. You want to throw that in or you throwing it back?
Okay.
All right. So when I was a kid, I was having this conversation with a friend of mine, which basically was my first vlog here. And our big question was, when was the best time to go fishing? And a lot of times, the simplest answer is the best.
Yep.
And we'd ask Dad, when was the best time to go fishing?
Anytime you can go.
Y'all have a nice night.